this is the route I'm planning to take, starting at Binbrook, heading over here to Orford, where the Priory used to be, and to Stainton Le Vale, where I'll hopefully have my lunch, and down to Kirmond Le Mire, and back through along Binbrook Top to Binbrook. Should be somewhere between 5, 6, 7 miles, depending on any extras I want to do. Right, let's get started. It's locked. That's a shame. I would have liked to have looked in there. I did a school Christmas performance in 1987. Christmas Nativity. So Binbrook used to have 2 churches, St Mary's and St Gabriel's, but they both fell into disrepair. So in 1869 this church was opened, which was made with the stone from the ruins of both churches, which is now called St Mary's and St Gabriel's. So this is here for the presentation of a lightning tail fin, 19th of June 1987. Now, I was at the school at this point, and the tail fin used to be visible from the plaque, but now you can only see it through here. And there it is. School sports days, you know, it seems in some ways so long ago, but in others it just seems like yesterday. Hey, it's Gav from Hiking for Health, and welcome to another hiking video. Well, today's video starts off in the village of Binbrook in the Lincolnshire Wolds. Now, sitting on a hill overlooking the village is the RAF base of RAF Binbrook. Now, it's been closed for quite a time, but in its heyday, it was home to 5 Squadron and 11 Squadron of the Electric Lightnings. Now, we're in the middle of Storm Ashley. Now, on the east coast and the East Midlands, we're not doing too badly. It seems to be hitting the west coast of the UK. High winds and lots of rain. Now, the weather forecast just can't seem to make up its mind. There are contrasting weather reports from the iPhone app and the Met Office. So which one do you believe? Now, the iPhone app has been the most correct so far. The Met Office seemed to think we were going to have bright sunshine all day. Now down here leads to what was the medieval village of Orford. And what's left is just archaeological lumps and bumps in the ground. I'm very thankful for this boarding because if it wasn't there, I've got a feeling it'd be rather boggy down here. So around here is where the medieval nunnery of St Mary's used to be, founded in the 1100s, but dissolved in 1539. Adjacent to it is the medieval village of Orford, which hopefully I'm going to pass through in a minute. What would have been here all those years ago, and what would life have been like? So the sun is trying to make an appearance. Whether it does properly today remains to be seen. The route today starts at the village of Binbrook in the Lincolnshire Wolds. I'll put the route on now for you. Then it passes through the medieval village of Orford, then on to Stainton Le Vale, then Kirmond Le Mire, and then back to Binbrook. It's around 10 miles altogether, but the weather's pleasant and the countryside isn't too demanding, so it should be a good one. It's always good to know you're going the right way. So I lived on the RAF base for a couple of years in the 80s, up on the married quarters as a young lad. It was great, the freedom I had was brilliant. I used to disappear off on my BMX bike, calling my mates, go and pick conkers. The freedom was just fantastic, and it was a really safe place. You had the periphery of the RAF base, and that was where you were allowed to go. And it had a little park in the middle, I remember. Now around that time, the phenomenon was the Panini football sticker albums. And I just remember everybody taking their swaps into school, got need, just brilliant times. Jawbreakers and garbage pail kids. And the culture around then in the 80s, the films were just amazing. When you think about the films we had around that time. Back to the Future, I can remember watching that for the first time. Thought it was absolutely amazing, and I had to wait couple of years before the second film came out. It ended with that to be continued. But I eventually got to see it at the cinema in the Odeon. The Goonies, Top Gun, all brilliant films. Not sure about the fashion though. But then again, those mullets are making a bit of a comeback, aren't they? I really enjoyed my time at the school. The children from the RAF base came down to the village primary school. And I remember teachers such as Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Ibbison, Mrs. Moore, Mrs. Bradley, and I've got wonderful memories of being at that school and having Mr. Wilson as my teacher. He was a great guy, had a lot of time for children. It was a great school. I really enjoyed my time there. It's a shame I couldn't get into the church, because it would have been brilliant seeing where I did my Christmas nativity in 1987. So I'm approaching the settlement of Stainton Le Vale. I'm going to find the church and settle for a bit, I think. So RAF Binbrook was opened in 1940 during World War II as a part of Bomber Command. But it's got quite a history. In more recent times, before it closed in 1988, it was home to 5 Squadron and 11 Squadron for the Electric Lightnings. Even though it closed in 88, it still served as an additional runway for RAF Scampton. After the camp was closed, Hollywood arrived and shot the film Memphis Belle on the camp. Because the weather forecast couldn't make up its mind, I came prepared today. I've got my beanie, my buff, my gloves, just in case the temperature dropped, but it's really warm out here at the moment. Do you know, I've got a sneaky feeling we might be seeing some sunshine later. I think the blue skies are trying to pop out. I saw an interesting debate about hiking and wild camping the other day. It was, somebody had said, you know, hiking's free, wild camping's free, so, you know, it's a great hobby to have. And then the counter argument was, well, actually, the gear can be really expensive, so it's not free at all. But it's what you make of it, I think. You don't have to buy expensive gear. You know, the outdoors is there. Use what you've got and go and enjoy what you have. So I'm just entering the settlement of Stainton Le Vale. So we've got Halloween coming up in a couple of weeks. That's a really nice display. Is this still a working telephone box? I haven't been in one of these for years. It's a working telephone box. They're usually used nowadays for like makeshift libraries, or they've got defibs inside them. Interesting stuff. Right, onto the church, then I want my lunch and something to drink. Now, I'm not quite sure what this is. Might be a village hall or some sort, but I'm not sure if it's being used anymore. So here's the Church of St Andrews at Stainton Le Vale. It's a standoff. I'm just glad this fence is here. It's a very well looked after church, and the churchyard is meticulous. It's just a shame the church isn't open. Right, well, as the church isn't open, I'm going to use this bench and have my lunch here. And so the walk continues. Nice coffee and some lunch, and off we go. So I've just left Stainton Le Vale, and now I'm heading out to Kirmond Le Mire. There's been no proper sunshine today at all, just this diffuse sunlight. It's like the sun is desperately trying to make its way through the clouds, but no luck. So I'm just here, about to go through these woods and then forward to Kirmond Le Mire. So it's up through there. So I'm just approaching Kirmond Le Mire, and this is the area where in the 1970s a Roman mosaic was discovered in the form of a blackbird. Now they believe it was the site of a Roman villa. So it's just through here on the right, but today there's not much left. Interesting stuff. So it would have been just over there somewhere. So what would that have been in Roman times? I see hills like that and I think to myself just how perfect they would be for sledging in the winter. So Stainton Le Vale is on the other side of that wood. That's where I walked through a while ago. Now it's a little bit of road walking and then the path back through to Binbrook. So the Lincolnshire Wolds is an area of outstanding natural beauty, and what I love about it is just the rolling hills. Fantastic playground for walking. Do you know, it's been a strange old day. A great walking day, but weather-wise, not what I expected. So now I'm going to follow this path all the way back into Binbrook, and I'm parked in the market square. You can just see the spire of the church sticking out there above the trees. So that's Binbrook. So I'm not far now. So I think I'm going to head up to the camp and have a look at my old house that I used to live in back in the 80s and just have a look and see what's going on. I think you can still get on the camp nowadays. So I think the guard room's still there. Right, so this is Binbrook Camp. This is the married quarters where I used to live. Now my road was Lincoln Road, which is this one. My house was on the right. There we go, that was my old house. Changed a lot though. So here's the old guard room. That's changed a lot. Don't think there's a great deal left from the looks of things. I used to go to Cub Scouts on the actual camp, and there was a swimming pool near the gym. In the summer of '87, I nearly spent every day there. It was like 50p a day or something. So I wasn't expecting to see a peacock just walking about. You're lost, mate. So there's RAF Binbrook in the background. Now over the years these skies would have been filled with all sorts of planes, but the electric lightning is probably what the base is most well known for. So that's it for today's hike. It's been a good adventure, a bit of a trip down memory lane. I've really enjoyed myself, and of course it's also great to get that important exercise. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you on the next one.